Trump's message about America first could actually have been a great message for people to actually take seriously. If you know that you're buying product from countries that employ slave labor, then make a conscious effort to not do that. It may cost a few extra bucks, but if you were really committed to that message, you would recognize that the reason why Mexicans come to the United States and get jobs and work for pennies on the dollar is because the people in charge hire them to work for nothing because they don't want to pay a living wage.
Hey, that's a brilliant point. I'm going to tweet that on my iPhone, made in China. Hang on. Great point. Great point. There's slave labor.
Side note, I'd like to say, and I would add that anybody who refers to a human as illegal is not following the laws of Christ.
No, so, Trump's illegal. Trump's illegal.
It's just I went on Michael Knowles last week.
Oh God, are you okay? Have you been deloused?
Let me tell you something.
That fucking guy. Let me tell you that fucking guy.
Well, I gotta tell you, considering the way that conversation went, and the very next person he spoke to was Ted Cruz. I mean, he had to deprave himself some way.
I'm just saying. Well, here's the thing. I'll go on any platform to talk about my message. Because that's it. I'm talking. It's just new people. Otherwise, I'm in an echo chamber.
But are you all right? Did you lose a bet? I mean, Michael is a very nice guy. I get along with him, but he's a revoltingly false Christian. Well,
I was going to say, so while I was in the little waiting area before I came on, and I'm glad that I wouldn't have talked with him about this topic, but he's referring to people as illegal aliens. Just like his comment, illegal aliens. And I'm sitting there now, he and I spoke about was Biden's mask mandate. So it was, that was neither here nor there.
Let me guess, he's not that pro-life when it comes to protecting other Americans.
Not so much. I'm not a mandate fan either. I don't support mandates. I just support common courtesy. But unfortunately, people don't have that. But the illegal is really not cool to me. It's weird to me that you would, and nobody's illegal. They're just not.
If you drive 56 in a 55 zone, that makes you an illegal. You'll never hear any of these people call a white person an illegal. That is a slur exclusively reserved for brown people like Megyn Kelly and the word thug.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, Megyn Kelly's, Megyn Kelly's on a whole other level. You can tell that certain people are not nice.
Well, that's the thing. They're just mean.
Yeah, Megyn Kelly's.
I loved her as Queen Elsa in Frozen. I thought she was great. So it's really tragic.
Yeah, but again, it gets down to everyone has, there's this word in politics we like to use regarding people that like to say one thing and do something else. There's a lot of sanctimony that goes around. We really do believe that if you're going to talk about an issue, get to the core of it or you're just bullshitting because we don't have time for this. If you're not going to address why there is an immigration issue, if you want to call it that, we have an immigration issue because our country sucks when it comes to workers' rights. So
and that we've screwed up other countries to the point of their people have to get out of them. So if it's like a lot of the places that these people are fleeing from are because we've created disasters in their countries. So I'm not.
It brings us back to the drug war, by the way. Yeah. I mean, I did stand up for the troops in El Salvador and Honduras a few years back. Did you know we have troops in El Salvador and Honduras? We do because of the drug war. And they're, by the way, in Honduras, the Air Force Base is all made of wood and termites were eating the base because they never thought back in the 80s it would last that long. There's a metaphor for you. We're still doing it. And their Central American refugees are fleeing our drug war violence when they show up at our border. So you can either turn away these refugees or stop supporting the drug war, but you can't do both.
I just think we need to. It's just why would we turn them away?
You know why.
But it's so. First of all, it's very non-American, and it's very non-Christian. It's very non-everything.
That's the right. The right is about pretending to be American, pretending to be a patriot, pretending to be a Christian. That's the whole thing.
Patriotism. People don't understand the difference.
That's why the Democratic Party has to take those words back and call out their bullshit because young people get it. And you'll never pull these Trumpers out of the cult, but you'll reach their kids and you'll reach the bystanders.
I try to explain to people, there's a very big difference between patriotism and nationalism. And when you say patriotism, you're about caring for your countrymen. Well, my countrymen are anybody that's here. Yeah. Those are my countrymen, right? So it's not fighting for a government. That's right. So there's a very big difference. I actually consider myself patriotic. I don't say the pledge. I'm not pledging to a flag and I'm not saying under God, and I'm not participating in your dogma.
Wait a second. You're not celebrating freedom by doing a mandatory loyalty oath? You're not celebrating freedom with the loyalty oath? Really?
Like, I would die, but look, I would die for people's freedom and liberty. Yeah. But I'm not going to pledge to the United States of America. They're very different.
What does that mean? It's a concept. Like, does that mean I have to pledge allegiance to Dick Cheney? Does that mean I have to pledge allegiance to Barack Obama, whoever the president is from day to day? Yeah. You know, it's a vague concept, and I get what you're saying. I think y'all are patriots. You wouldn't be doing this if you didn't care about other people, and that's what it is. But it's not just about caring about the people; it's about caring for the soil and the water and the air we have as well. That's what patriotism is. It's about loving the values that made this country great. Listen, I would love to have a country based on Christian values. If you mean the values of Christ, Matthew 25, you take care of the poor. Jesus gathers the individuals and nations and says you have to take care of the poor, you have to take care of the sick, you have to take care of people in prison. Great, sign me up. The last competent Republican president was Eisenhower. He was the last one to balance a budget and have a surplus 80 years ago. And what did Eisenhower do? Capitalism and socialism both turned up to 11. The GI Bill, the Interstate Highway Plan, incredibly progressive taxation on the wealthiest. Eisenhower would be driven out of the party today, and so would Reagan. But I'll go with what competent Republicans and actual Christians are supposed to stand for. And
yet Eisenhower put under God. Eisenhower's the one who put under God into the pledge.
And that was only to tweak the Soviets because they were godless. Right. It was all political propaganda.
Right. We have to be scared of the Russians. And what's weird is, and now I look at what's going on every day. Now I pick up news. I'm like, I'm like in Groundhog Day. I feel like I'm in Groundhog Day.
Well, the same people who hated us as kids, the same people who hated you as kids, if you didn't hate the Russians, now hate you if you have a problem with the Russians.
Right.
But what's so amazing at this point, we've seen this. It really is. This is like Bill Murray's Groundhog Day.
Ridiculous.
We have seen this movie before. We have seen these tactics before, and yet millions and millions of people still fall for this shit.
Well, because the Democrats aren't there calling it out, and I'm telling you,
they don't call it out.
The worst nightmare of Fox News, the worst nightmare of fascists, is Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren on Fox News reaching those people because they can. Bernie and Liz Warren could flip conservatives over because they tell the truth about these things. And the truth is, non-millionaires have been getting ripped off in this country for 50 years. And it's reversible. If government policies got us into this mess, government policies can get us out of this mess.
Thanks for watching. If you want to support our mission to transform politics into service, please like this video, subscribe, follow us on social media, and consider joining our Patreon, where you'll get early access to our interviews as well as other exclusive content. Links are in the description. Peace out.